Yo, 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 you already know what time it is. Welcome back to another episode of Thinker versus Speaker, where I'm Marissa the Thinker, sit down with different guests, and we talk about all things, anything, everything, life, love, relationships, spirituality, literally whatever we want to talk about. So if it's something that you want to hear us talk about, somebody that you, I mean, not somebody you want to hear us talk about, okay, something you want to hear us talk about, somebody you want me to talk to, if podcast, follow me on social media, leave a comment or something, let me know, get in contact with me, we can get you on the show. Before we get started, look, I'm not a professional, I'm just a person with opinions talking to other people with opinions, and sometimes I actually do talk to professionals, so you never know what you're gonna get here. But with that being said, if you easily triggered, this might not necessarily be the place for you. I'm only here to create a dialogue, not police people's thoughts and opinions. So if you ain't down for that, do what you gotta do. But if you are, strap up, stay tuned. Let's hop into it. I got my dad back in the building today. How are you, Dad?
What's up? I'm just saying what I'm saying. That's my thing now.
I'm just saying what I'm saying. Yeah, we already know what time it is. And honestly, I'm gonna let you have the wheel today. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little tired. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little tired. I've been working hard, but I got a whole lot of, well, they would know at this point, all the episodes that done came out by the time this come out. But you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you have the real. You say you about to start your podcast. I'm gonna let you have it. You ready for that?
Right. Well, I just want to explain that the last time we did this, we were supposed to talk about history, Black history. And when we had a conversation, when it was over with, you said, it was like, but you just kept going and we didn't get to the points that we wanted to go with. And I'm thinking to myself, I was like, I don't want to do no podcast about, certain things. Let's just chop it up. Let's just talk about stuff. Let's just see what sounds, good. And let's just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? If it don't work, don't even put it on. Let's just get together and just talk about some things. You don't even have to be, nothing relevant. Just, things that's on our mind.
Yeah, and I think I love that. Honestly, that's why when you hit me up for this episode, I was down for it, because like the original idea of Thinker versus Speaker, of course, was to capture those conversations that you would just have in real life. And you know what I'm saying? This is a part of it. So like, of course, sometimes you might talk to somebody, you know what I'm saying, who's doing certain things, you know what I'm saying? And you had those conversations. But, sometimes Thinker versus Speaker is just about shooting the shit and seeing what you can get from it. Because the thing that I love about having conversations is that, you never know what somebody has to offer until they open their mouth up and say it. You never know what you can get. Like, you can get so much from a conversation sometimes just without trying, which is why I love just being able to do this and capture these types of conversations. So with that being said, like, if y'all got stuff that y'all want to come talk about, or if y'all want to shoot the shit, or if y'all want to vent or anything like that, hit me up. Like, literally, Thinker versus Speaker is our podcast. It's fair game. I told Kay this the other day. I was like, I think Thinker versus Speaker is turning into the people's podcast,
Well,
and I love that.
Right, that'll work. So the things that like I wanted to get into, and I don't know why I wanted to get into. I think that's because Jimmy Carter was going into hospice, and Jimmy Carter was a president that did one term, and I was like, man, through my lifetime, what did I think of the presidents that I lived through? And I was like, okay. And what I want to do is I want to get to a point where when you remember, I want your opinion about the presidents that you know.
Okay.
Like that. And it don't have to take long. We just run through this, And so I start off with Kennedy. I wasn't, I was born in 63. So I ain't know nothing about Kennedy, but with that history that they teach you, I almost act like you was there. Some of the things, that he did for Black people and how they was trying to get that civil rights off the ground with Martin Luther King and them. So he always feel like he was one of the best presidents for Black people. And then I remember Lyndon B. Johnson, he did a lot of stuff for civil rights, and with Martin Luther King again, one of the good presidents and stuff. And then we had Nixon, and the Watergate years, you know. And I don't know if you ever, I don't even know what you did. You know what Watergate was all about, you know.
Well, yeah, because it repeated itself with Trump.
Right. Yeah, but the difference was Trump ain't quitting shit.
He
You
ain't
know.
quit, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He ain't accepting nothing. He just gonna blame everything he do. He just like a little bad kid that ain't gonna take no fault for nothing. And he got a whole worship for people that allow him to do it, you know.
I mean, ain't Trump kind of like the epitome of what happens when you grow up rich without rules?
Yep. Yep. You grow up rich and racist
Yeah,
without
rich
rules.
races without
Yeah.
rules. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
you
saying?
know.
The world is yours. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy the things that you can do when you realize like the world is mine. They ain't gonna do shit to me no way. You know
Well,
what I'm
because he
saying?
done got away with it for so long, you know, and everybody like that. And then when you reach the plateau of being president, they really don't want to. How they look like they locked up a president? You know, they don't really want to do that. You know,
Yeah.
and then say I remember that after Johnson and Nixon, it was Carter. You know, which that's why I say it started by the Carter. You know, they ramrod him, man. You know, everything went bad through Carter. That's what
What
happened.
happened in Carter? Was that the Iran? No,
Yeah, it
Iran.
was the Iran, and then gas was so high. They had gas lines in California, and gas was going up and everything like that.
Was he
And then
before or after Reagan?
he was before, right? Because this how it went. When they had in Iran, you know, they got those hostages, right?
Right.
And then they was holding those hostages and nothing happened. And the Shah Khomeini took over Iran and stuff like that. And see, when Reagan got elected, it was a few days later they let all them hostages go.
Really?
Yeah, I remember my dad telling me like, you know, it was black hostages in there, but they really, you know, they was just there because like a black hostage back then really didn't mean nothing. You
Well,
know?
yeah.
It means a little different like that basketball player now. You know, they go through all that stuff. But if you were black back in the 70s and the 80s and they held you hostage, you might as well just go on apply for your papers. You
Now
know,
this might be a little controversial too, but I think honestly, I feel like if Brittany Garner wouldn't have if
basketball player.
it wouldn't have mattered.
Well, yeah, I mean, right. You know, because a lot of people was look, and if I, what I think is, if she was in there
Not
with
saying that she
Republicans,
didn't matter, but I'm saying
no,
it
I
wouldn't have
got.
mattered. It wouldn't have been as important.
Well, I think if she was in there with Republicans, she'd still be in there.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, she just be had to look sad behind them, behind they had her in the glass. She looked so sad, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, and funny how you ain't heard nothing else about her. You ain't really seen much about her or nothing. And it
Didn't
was
before either. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's just like I think it was just a thing for people to rally behind. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't that, then people wouldn't have cared. It's not like nobody gonna sit up and more people gonna start watching the WNBA now. Like they didn't.
but people got more courage than me. Cause ain't no way I'm going to Russia. You know, ain't no way I'm flying in Russia, going to Russia, you know, to get caught up in there. And I know I ain't nothing, you know, I ain't nothing. But I'm just saying, ain't no way you get me to go do nothing like that.
I'm not gonna lie. You remember the movie Taken?
Uh,
Man, that movie scared the hell out of me. I'm scared to go to Europe,
yeah,
man.
well, yeah, I mean, but you know what? You
But
think
even though
about
I know that's not real, but I mean, still, like it kind
no,
of.
Richie, no, Richie, that stuff happens. You know, you know, if you want to be real, you want to get our presidents, like I'm saying, that's what we doing. It's like millions and millions of girls that get kidnapped, and just like that movie Taken, that really happened. You
Mhm.
know, them girls go over there and get kidnapped and can never get seen before. I remember like it was the one girl was from like Mississippi or something, and she went somewhere, Mexico somewhere, and ended up dying. Ended up getting, I don't know, was a boyfriend something. I mean, this happened so.
You talk about the one that got killed by a friend?
Yeah, but this was years ago though.
Oh, okay, okay,
I ain't
okay.
talking about. I know something happened recently, but
Yeah.
the girls went somewhere. But all that stuff, man, that happens because we don't, and because it seems like this. What I don't understand, like people, kids get kidnapped, abducted, and all that stuff, and you only hear about certain ones, and why you only hear about certain ones, it befuddles me. There's so many missing kids out here, so it asks you like when somebody can get on the news, it's like they hit the lottery. Because and then we think like, oh man, somebody missing. No, it's tens of thousands of kids that's missing, and they don't say nothing about it. They don't even put them on they don't get no alert. Their phones don't go out. They just be missing, man, just missing. And then when you tell somebody that, they'll be like, man, that ain't true. I didn't see it on the news. That's fake news because nobody read paper. Nobody. That's why they can make movies about this stuff. It's real.
You know what's? Go ahead. My bad.
Nah, that's all right. You got it.
But it didn't click to me what Ashton was saying until now that you're saying it, because something that Ashton kept saying in that episode that I had to scrap was that even with police brutality, right? He was just like, Black people is dying every day, and not only are Black people dying every day, it's a lot of different people that die every day to police violence. Exactly. But he was saying that, you know what I'm saying, the only one, they only put certain ones, and it's always us.
Right,
they hit the forefront.
They hit the lottery, but I mean, it just and the things about it is it's the way that they are. And like I said, man, there's good police out there. I don't never want to be the one that dog police out, but I'm just saying, in anything, because I don't really want to talk about police, but you brought that up. But in anything where you talk about brutality and things happening, it just don't get out in the hemisphere so people can hear about it. Like you hear on the news, they'll go with all the crazy stuff. They got to have a section about, it's almost like it's just like, what's the word I want to, like it's
that should be a sensation.
Yeah, it's like every night it's the same thing. How can you have news like that? You got your headlines, they got 5 to 7 minutes. You got your weather, you got 5 to 7 minutes. And then you got your sports, you got 5 to 7 minutes. That's 21 minutes. Then your commercials. And they do the same thing. They got the same stories every night in your headlines. Give me that one robbery, that one murder, that one thing that happened, that one good thing that happened. Okay, let's talk about this weather. Let's do a 10-day, 5-day. Then let's get on this sport. But where do you go and get information?
That's a very good point.
You feel me?
That's a very good point.
Where do you go and get real information? You can't. I mean, the newspaper, I don't know if the newspaper giving it. Everybody doing podcasts and everybody on Facebook, but nobody's like breaking it down like to say, what's happening, what's going on in here. It's like, because don't nobody want, you might not get no listeners. Somebody, oh man, this dude up here talking, he bringing me down. But that's what I want to get into. I want to get into world stuff. I want to, talk about things that nobody else is talking about. I want to talk about, things that's happening in Japan, China, even if it's sport, soccer, and then things that's happening to help people. Like, you're talking about child abduction, you talking about brutality to women, you talking about murder, you talking about all these things, man. That's what I want to get into. But, I just got to find a way to get that information for myself so I can get it out there. Them the things I'm looking at. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I highly considered, I was at, me and Marcus was out the other day, and we were checking out, and I saw a newspaper. And I think honestly, like, I want to start, like, once I find a place where you can actually get a newspaper on a regular basis, I think I want to consider reading a newspaper, because when it comes to finding information, it is hard, because we have to look at where our information is coming from. And like
Right.
you're saying, like, there's motive behind the information that we get in with a lot of places. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, if you look, like, if you getting your news from CNN only, they got a tailored audience
They
that
got a
they
motive, right? They got a
exactly.
motive, and then you listen at Fox, like, and what makes it so bad, Rishy,
uh
when you talk to people, and this real though. When you talk to people about anything, and you get their opinions, you almost know what they listen at or look at
Based
on
off what they
the
say.
TV. Yeah,
hmm
because these stations so slanted. When a person open their mouth, you already know where they got their information from. You know,
yeah.
and that's cold. That's all they want to give us, man. And then we don't want to figure out nothing else for ourselves.
Man, that's why I had to get away from it. I used to watch, the news heavy. I used to keep up with politics very, very heavily, especially when Trump was president, right? Because it was entertaining.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
not even trying to be, it was entertaining. Like, and then when Biden got in, it was kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. He was regular. Like, what I'm saying? He was regular. Like, you could keep up with current events. You know what I'm saying? I'm aware of a lot of the things that are going on in the world, but I'm not clocked in like I was clocked in with Trump. I'm not gonna
Right,
lie.
right.
And go
You
ahead.
you be with Trump, and you be like, you know what I'm saying? You be like, and Trump will
That's a
say
soap
something. You
opera.
be like, this dude just lied.
Yeah,
Is somebody gonna call him on that?
yeah,
This dude just said, or he would say something stupid, or he would say the wrong word, and you'll be like, ain't somebody gonna say how ignorant that is for your president of the United States? Can't say the basic English, and he's supposed to be one of the finest Americans and stuff, and he's an
yeah.
idiot, and nobody calling him an idiot. And then you had a president like Barack Obama that was highly intelligent, that never made a mistake, that everything said everything articulate, and they make Obama seem like he was an idiot.
See, okay, because that what you said is leading me to my thing. Because that let's talk about presidents too. So if we want to talk about presidents in these media networks, now I'm not exactly old enough to remember this, but I'm trying to think of when this grand shift happened. Now I know the Tea Party kind of shift happened in 2012, where it kind of seems like, all right, it's getting a little crazy, in politics. Okay, now it's getting a little less rational. When the Tea Party came in, that's like 2012. Obama's like, what, second term in office? You know what I'm saying? At first, it was just like, okay, like, first black president,
Well,
kumbaya. And then, like,
everything was about money, Richie. It was
uh,
like Rupert Murdoch, he bought Fox, and that was about money. So when he bought Fox, then you can do anything you want to. You got that much money, you can say who you want to be president, because you got history with people you don't like and stuff like that. It's
right.
all about America right now. It's all about rich folks fighting battles, you know, and getting what they want. Like, that's why he went and got like Roger Ailes to run Fox, and then they decided who they wanted to be president, and that's who they put in there, and then they backed him. When you got a news media that big, you could say all, you know what, you could run all the other people away by saying bad things about
Uh
it.
huh.
And then you could say how great that this dude is, and how smart, and how he a billionaire, and he a genius and stuff. And then you get the right people that's listening at him. They be like, yeah, I can't. I'm gonna vote for Donald Trump. You like, why you voting for him? Because he's a millionaire, and he got all these companies, and he can do that.
Yep.
But the reality of, they were just voting for him because he was white and he was racist, and because the thing that I got asked when Obama got, they said, why you vote for Obama? did you vote for Obama because he was black? And I'll be like, yeah, I voted for Obama because he was black. And that was true. But I also voted for Obama because he was the most articulate. He was smart.
I
He
wouldn't
had a
sit up here and
plan.
vote for Herschel Walker.
Right. He had a plan. But I'm just saying. But for me to say that I didn't
At the
vote
time,
for
it
Obama,
made sense.
yeah,
That's what I mean. Like I'm agreeing with what you said because at the time it made sense. Like Herschel Walker is like the perfect example for opposite of that. It's like you look at that, like, why would I vote for that? Why would I
right.
vote for that? I don't care if he's black or not. Why would I vote for that? But if you look at Obama, it's just like you giving me that plus you black because even if he was white, he had everything to be president.
Right.
He was
Even when
both.
even
So
when
of
people
course,
voted for even when people voted for Biden, they voted for what he stood for or what he was saying.
right?
Because Biden had said some shit back in the 70s. He you know what I'm saying? He was one of them creeps too. But like I'm saying, but you gotta pick your battle who you want to vote for.
Yep.
And I ain't vote for no Biden because he was black, but I really could. I could answer that when somebody asked me, because they would ask me, well, why you vote for Obama? I was like, because he was black. You know, because in my mind, I didn't have to explain all that other stuff.
Right.
It's like you would think that y'all could see it. You know, you would think that like people could see it. Like, man, you know how you just biting a vote on nobody? Because just like you said about Herschel Walker, you look at Herschel Walker, people be like, shit, I ain't voting for that idiot. You know? Ain't no black person I know was saying they was voting for Herschel Walker. But them white folk, them racist folk, they got in line to vote for him. Why? Because he was saying the right thing, he was doing the right thing, and he was in Donald Trump pocket, and that's why they voted for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but hey, that's the way it rolled. That's the way it rolled. That's just like Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton said the right thing. You know, and remember they used to say the joke he was the first black president.
Yeah.
Because he was cool.
He was cool. Yeah.
He was playing his saxophone. You know, he was cheating on his wife. You know, he was doing all these things.
Bill Clinton was living life.
Yeah, and was the president too. You know, and was the president too. But that you know what I'm saying, that's just how it is, you know, when you think about presidents, man, that just be on my mind. And then you go back and I think I was talking to you about you yesterday, and I was like, you even think about the parties, and you like, how did black people start off as Republicans? And then now they Democrats. You know, Abe Lincoln was a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody loved Abe Lincoln. You know, and then it turned around. You know, now everybody vote Democrat.
Right.
You know, and then because you asked me that, and I was like, I think it was through the big deal.
I think you're right.
That people start getting Social Security and welfare.
The New Deal?
The New Deal, yeah, thanks. They start getting that, and then, you know, they start seeing it benefit them. And they start changing their political parties around. Mm. And then then you had the civil rights, you know, that where you had Johnson and Kennedy now. And then they started fighting for their civil rights and stuff like that. So you had to change parties like that. Right. And I'm trying to figure, so I'm saying, why would white folks go to the Republican Party? Is it just as simple because black folks was in the Democratic Party? You know, it makes you wonder, like, we say, like, you know, Donald Trump and racist people and the KKK and the QAnon, all them is with the Republican Party. What if a whole bunch of black people start voting? Would they leave? Would they leave?
That's a good question. You know what I'm saying? That's a good question, because even with you saying that, right? When I think about, Lord, y'all bear with me and please use your brains. I don't want to answer no dumb comments, but like when you think about the political parties and the values of what the Republican Party was, right? Before it got to where it was now, where it's just like some of the things that they believe in on a baseline level are rational.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Things that you can low key agree with. You know what I'm saying? Especially black people, because a lot of black people are conservative.
Right.
And
Right.
that's the thing that they keep running into even with the Democratic Party, right? Because now you know how they got like the Progressive Party, and it's like the Progressive Party can't quite tip it because because black people are low key conservative.
Yeah.
But
And, and
they can't get down with the dumb shit in the Republican Party.
well,
So we
because I
therefore have
don't
to vote Democrat.
because I don't think it really is a Republican Party.
Nah.
You know, I think the Republican Party is gone by the wayside. You know, I think remember the Newt Gingrich and all them cats, and that old dude that was just up there a few years back.
Yeah.
Them was the Republican Party dudes. Them was the conservative dudes. But man, what happened is, and I know you remember this in your lifetime, about 15 years ago, 16, 17 years ago, they had a party that was running. They was called the Tea Party.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Tea Party it's that party. They might as well call themselves.
That's what they are now.
Exactly. Because they infiltrated the
The
Republican
Republican
Party.
Party.
And
Yeah.
that's why you got all these, the Ted Cruz,
That's the Tea Party.
all exactly. The centers, all them guys are from the Tea Party, you know, with their ideals, because the Tea Party was more like religious values, talking craziness and shit, and that's where that racism come in. Because see, Republicans wasn't racist. See, and that's why guys don't understand, like older white guys I know and stuff like that, and they be Republicans. Man, they just be conservative.
Yeah.
They cool people, but they got to roll with whatever they doing because because what else they gonna do? Because they don't like no Democrats. But it's too late. They went in there like roaches and then changed the whole thing around, and ain't no way to get around.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy, man. And because these guys finna win president, and that's gonna be the Tea Party. How they think this governor, man, we got in Texas. That's the Tea Party. That's why he coming along now, eliminating like the Texas. What's that? What you call the quota system and stuff like that? They eliminating that. They tell them no, we can't do that.
Do you think they really believe in what they believe in, or do you think it's just straight racism? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like where it's like the stuff that they base it on, it kind of gets low key contradictory.
Sometimes,
so it's just
Go ahead. I finish.
Cause it's like when you think about certain stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's just like they believe, like, okay, abortion, right? They don't believe in abortion, but like when it comes to like, you know, civil rights issues in other countries, they be like, fuck that, fuck me, you know what I'm saying? They don't care about that. But at the same time, like, you know what I'm saying? Here's an even better example. They don't want abortion by any means, right? Like no access to abortion, like just period, because Jesus. And then on the flip side though, like they won't give like daycare and childcare, you know, like childcare benefits and stuff like that. They'll be against that because it's just like that's gonna raise taxes. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, nigga. Figure it out. But it's just like, don't these things go hand in hand? Like, how do you care about people, but you don't care about people at the same time?
Does. But see, my thoughts on that is just different. You know, my thoughts on abortion, I don't think it got shit to do with black people. I think, you know how I feel about genes and stuff like that. I think that it's too many white folks who's getting abortion. And that's how they got to stop abortion. Because if it was black folks killing their babies, they ain't got no problem with it. I'm just telling you, ain't the Supreme Court in the world got no problem. If we all want to go and jump in the fight, they'll let us. That's all. That's just my opinion.
But as soon as they kids start coming to, it's a problem.
But right, because you know you gotta have a white race and shit, and that's what that's for. And see, that's what that's for. But I don't think that's working because all this shit doing is making people not go out and do Plan B. So
Well,
somebody making money, but niggas know to go out. I mean, I'm sorry. People know to go out and have Plan B, you know,
yeah,
and do what they got to do. But
yeah.
I was saying my thing about, and I kind of forgot when you was making that statement when we talking about politics and race and stuff like that. I was like, sometimes we have to be careful what we call racism, you know, because as a black person, if I was in power, you know, you had to ask yourself, who would you help, you know? And if you was helping people that look like you, are you racist?
Mm.
And I think that sometimes that's what the deal is. I think that white people, they help themselves, and that's a good thing. I think we need to learn how to help ourselves, you know. So that sometimes we need to learn how to educate ourselves, get in a position, you know, to do more and be more and help each other. You know, I think we call, you know, I think when I think of racism, I think of negative, you know, when somebody trying to hurt you, you know, physically and stuff like that. I don't give a shit. Like, long as they ain't trying to kill me, driving out, that's the racism I don't like. You understand what I'm saying? When you're in your car and somebody picking you and stuff like that. If a job don't want to hire you, you know, because you black, then so be it, then don't hire me, you know? Because, like, on my job, you know, I just feel like if they didn't hire me, that you know, they gonna be in the worst place. You know, I'm something added to a job. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And I see a lot of people that ain't black, that they ain't even added to the job. They just got a job because of their color.
That's
Now,
true.
if this man want to go and get a university and say all white folks, and some of these white folks can't even read and write, and you gonna put them in that just gonna make your job or your university a worse place. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying?
true.
You just bringing down stuff. You know, and if that's what they want, then fine. But what gives me, the only thing give me about racism, when you control stuff, and I'm driving down the street, and you want to peel me over, you want to take my life, take my son and my daughter's life, and you want to do things. I think we ought to be in a position that we hold each other up and try to get in a position to help ourselves. And if we were doing that, if we were doing that successfully, would that be racist? Nah,
Nah.
that would be smart.
I
So we
mean,
can't get mad at people for being smart.
I I have to agree with you in that sense too, because I think that's what I'm trying to say when I keep saying these things like, yeah, we don't vote, we not aware, those kinds of things, where it's just like, you know, it's just like the narrative has been like waiting on somebody to help us for so long, but in reality, if we start helping each other, we can solve that problem. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, like if the issue is we don't have access to XYZ knowledge, guess what? And it's again like something like what Trey has, right? Where Trey has God's business plan, and where yeah, Trey and Dominic, they got God's business plan, where it's just like, all right, look, I had to file a LLC, right? And I also know, as a person that's trying to be an entrepreneur, that, you know, when you going down this lane, everybody wants to teach a course and charge you $1,000, but you in the midst of starting a business, so you ain't got $1,000 to throw into the business. You just need some information. So let's knowing the situations that we in when we trying to make these moves, how about we get together and share the information that we have? Don't charge each other for it. Just help each other out, because it's just like, if I know it and I know you need to know it, let me go ahead and pass you this information. See, that's what them other communities are doing
That's what we
that
don't
we
do.
don't do.
Right.
You know
Now
what I'm
what we
saying? We
don't do.
always trying to find a way to make it our come up. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, I Googled how to make a podcast. Now I'm finna run it up. You know, anybody that want to start a podcast, pay me. Nah. Cause you
And
could
here,
go Google it like I did. So why
and
would I
here,
make you Google it?
right. And here's the thing with that though. People have to work so hard for their business and get in a position of success. You know, when you're African American, they feel like the only way that they're gonna get on top is not to share. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying?
That's how they stay on top.
Right, and that's their thing. Like, hey, this for me. You know, this for me. That's why, like, when people be in the restaurant business, that's why they only have one restaurant. You know what I'm saying? They ain't trying to open no 5 or 6 restaurants, you know, and have a staple on them. They ain't trying to get people that was in their restaurants to learn how they cook their stuff and then move on and open them something. Like a flower just keep blossoming out there. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, marketing like that. We ain't trying to have that. We saying, man, look, I got the best tasting chicken. And I got the best food in my restaurant. And all I'm gonna do is be the best that I can be and stuff, and people gonna come, and I ain't gonna try to make the people that work here elevate and have their own things. What would we be if that's what the attitude that McDonald's, Burger King, and Jack in the Box do? We just had one McDonald's out in California making McDonald's burgers, you know?
Ain't that crazy? We could get so much further helping each other. That's the part that's wild. You know what I'm saying? What's one thing that people like to say? Oh, if you want to start getting loans from banks, Black people getting loans and stuff with credit history and stuff like that. Okay, so let's build our wealth up and create those opportunities for other people. Let's teach ourselves financial literacy and those kinds of things. Like, why we not having them conversations is just, but it's like what you said. It's like people get their money. I don't want to give it. Nah, it's mine.
Right. Cause I had to work too hard. Nobody helped me. See, that's what it is. Nobody helped me. You know, nobody helped me. I couldn't network with nobody. So I'm gonna be the same way. You know. So and that's not good. You know, that's not good. I mean, just because you got a business doing one thing don't mean the other person got to come along and do the same thing. They just got to know how to get something started.
Right.
You know, have a base, you know, have finance, stuff like that, what to do. But we don't even want to share that.
See,
you know?
And that be the crazy part too, because like even for the industry that I work in, or right, it's one of those things where it's competitive, right? Everybody got a podcast. There's so many different podcasts. Like, how you gonna break through type of deal where it's just like you don't first of all, you don't know, and two, like, this is me doing me. I ain't trying to do nobody else but me.
Exactly.
So how can I fail? You know what I'm saying? Even if I was to fail, like, what difference does I'm doing? Don't know. Can't nobody do what I do. If the next person that try to start a podcast like Thinker versus Speaker, it's gonna be like Thinker versus Speaker. But Thinker versus Speaker is Thinker versus Speaker. The same way any other thing is any other thing.
But you know, people still don't want to help you with doing what you do. They don't want to see you get nothing off your feet. They don't want you getting no network under you. Yeah. They don't want you to help nobody. They'll tell you that ain't what you're supposed to do. This how I did. Did you want to make your paper? Look, money ain't the success of all things. You know, I mean, everybody want to have light, gas, water, a little paper in their pocket. But if you know, I look at stuff like I look at Floyd Mayweather, and he always on Facebook with his big ass stacks of money and his big gold chain, and that what define him. Right. You know what I'm saying? If you took that away from him, you know, then he ain't really got nothing to define him. You understand? Because I mean, he a world champion, but he ain't talking about being a world champion. You know, and he probably out there making people champions and boxing with them, but all you see
It's the money
is the
part.
money, right?
When
All
you
you see
so
is
much
the
more
money.
than money. You so
And it,
much more than money,
well,
but
but the
you
thing
see
is, the
yourself as
watches he
money.
got on, he's showing you the watches he got on. But if you ain't got no watch and you ain't got no money, you don't give a damn about Floyd Mayweather and
Mm-mm.
what he got. But he seemed to think that's the most important thing on your mind. Now, I'd rather see Floyd Mayweather doing something, you know, productive as a citizen, helping somebody. And I could be like, man, see, that's the shit I want to do. I want to help somebody. See, that's what we don't do. You know, you just saw like, man, you can have this. Well, who there? Money ain't everything.
Mm-mm.
You can't take it with you when you dead. You can't take that watch with you. When you can't take that car with you. You know, I mean, it's nice to have, but that ain't going with you.
Nah.
And that if that's what defines you, then you got a problem. If you done made all this money and you ain't helping nobody, you know, and I don't know I ain't talking about him on this because I don't never want nobody to construe what I'm saying, you know, but if you got all this money and you ain't helping nobody and you ain't putting it forward, you know, helping kids go to school and get educations and stuff like that, then what the point? All you can spend your money on is cars and jewelry.
That's a very good point. You know something, Dad? Now that you mention it, like when you think about it, when you think of Bill Gates, what you think?
Well, he all these people he got working for him.
But no, but besides that, he's a philanthropist.
Probably. Well,
He's a
I'm
big
just saying.
philanthropist. Like you, even Tiffany, right? Tiffany that came on the podcast before, she's a Bill Gates scholar. That's how she's getting her PhD, his scholarship.
Well, yeah.
The whole way through. You know what I'm saying? So when you think of billionaires and stuff, they be the white ones. It's just like where you think of it, it's just like, yeah, Bill Gates created Microsoft, but he's also known for philanthropy. How many of our leaders are known for philanthropy, or are they known for being flashy?
Well, you know, first of all, you know, philanthropy. That's a big word. I don't even know what that is. You know, I figured it out as you talking. But yeah, I mean, you right on that. You know, you dead right on that. But like I'm saying, like I want to see. You know, I see all these. You know, talk about LeBron, and I know they doing
LeBron
stuff.
does. LeBron,
I
he
know
got a
they
whole
doing
school.
stuff. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
but you think of everybody that. And that's these basketball, the entertain. And I know Denzel and them doing it. And I know Oprah was all over in Africa building schools. She built schools in Africa.
We do it, but we not known for it. We get known
But
for the other stuff. That's really my point.
I'm just saying, man, like, you know, why not, you know, and maybe somebody did, why not take all them millions of dollars you got, you know? And see, this is what I'm saying. Why you can't take all the $1 million and open up a bank, you know, and give, and you won't lose nothing. You see,
Mm.
you won't lose nothing because it's a bank. Because white folks ain't lost nothing in bank. You know, why you can't give a higher interest, make a little less money of your money? You see what I'm saying? And then, you know, do that. Why we always say the black community ain't got nothing? Because the people that go out there and make money, they can't look. They can't do nothing with their money.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't think they can do nothing with their money. Because if they could, they would. That's why you see them walking around with stacks of millions of dollars and stuff like that. Because they could make, like I said, they could open banks and anything and help so many people buy houses, buy cars, open up jobs and do businesses and stuff like that, and give to black folk what the government or whatever won't get in, what banks won't get black people to start businesses and stuff.
Do you
You
ever
see
think?
what I'm saying?
Do you ever think we could recreate what? I don't know how to word this question in a politically correct manner. Black Wall Street. Why do you think it never came? Why do you think it never happened again?
them, because certain people are smart. Because certain people are smart. Certain people know. See what certain people do is they allow certain people to be rich, and that's what I'm saying. They can only spend their money on certain things. They can be billionaires. We got black folks walking around talking about they billionaires now. They could be billionaires, man. Kanye West said he was a billionaire. The Kardashians say they billionaires. All this money, man. And that for one person, it's a billionaire. And instead of them making financial institutions to build stuff, the neighborhoods and stuff like that, and still make money, but probably at a lesser rate. But they could be helping something. They can't do it, man. Because like they daddy telling them they can't do it. You can't do that. They still puppies, man. With $1 million. Look at Kanye. When he started speaking up, he wasn't no billionaire the next day.
Yeah.
You see? So all these cats, all these entertainers, and bash all this money, they can buy, they can go they can go buy $1 million gold chain and a $2 million watch and a $3 million Lamborghini. They can buy all that stuff. But they can't start no institution. They go by a movie theater so we can go look at crazy stuff at the movie theaters.
Right.
You know, they can buy all the chicken places. Just like dude with the beard, I forget his name. He got all these chicken places, and Shaq got all these chicken places, make all this money. So they can think about a chicken place. They can't do nothing but get richer. And you got people in there working minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't gonna try to educate them or nothing. You just got more people working minimum wage.
I'm telling you.
And one person get richer and work richer. They get boats and shit. They can go buy a big boat. They can go buy a $30 million boat. They can go buy a $30 million plane. They can buy all this shit. They ain't no better than me or you working our little job, buying a BMW trying to flash it. Same thing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's all I can do. Because there ain't nobody gonna give me banks, ain't gonna give me no money, to get started. So I'm gonna have to start from the bottom, trying to get my way up right there. And we ain't helping each other, So, it's easier for certain people. Like if you're a farmer and you can go to an institution and tell them that you need $500,000 to get you a tractor and whatever. They say, yeah, okay, sign on the dotted line. And you get that. But for us, we ain't got nowhere to go to get that.
So, okay, cause what I'm hearing is a need for, cause I kind of feel this way too. Quiet as it's kept, you know what I'm saying? Not even quiet as it's kept, I just feel this way. It's just, we do need to create some of our own institutions because we are too reliant on, those outside entities that systematically exclude us, right?
Exactly.
So I think that we need to do both things in tandem, if you asking me. I think we need to get more involved with the system, period, and we need to create our own systems and learn how to uplift one another too. Because what's another thing that people would say too, if you try to create something, it's just like, but the government, right?
Right.
We got to get in it. We got to, not only do we need to establish our own things, we need to get in the government. We need to get more involved.
Yeah, but right. But then you'll have people saying, I don't vote. My vote don't mean nothing. My vote don't mean nothing. So, to me, when I hear somebody say they don't vote, I don't get mad at them, and I respect them. And because most of the time, they have a perfectly good explanation of why they doing stuff. But to me, man, you know what I hear? I hear that, like, everything you just said, that wheel won't never turn, because as long as you got people that saying that they won't vote for for reasons that people died over to get the chance to vote. You know, because we knew, like my parents knew, and their parents knew that when you lived in Jim Crow South, you know what Jim Crow would do to you, and how they would treat you.
That hits
You didn't
different.
have if you didn't have legislation, and if you didn't have the vote to try to change things, and then when you hear somebody young just say they don't vote, it's just disheartening because
Man.
I'm like, why not? And they'll give you a reason, but you'll be like, man, just do your research and pick the lesser of two evils. And it's just
Right.
one vote. And maybe, eventually if everybody, thought like that, and went out there and used that vote that people died for, maybe that wheel will start turning. Maybe we'll start getting in a position of getting in more people. Our Supreme Courts wouldn't be the way they are.
Yeah.
Maybe our Senate and our Congress wouldn't be the way they are because we got out there and made that vote. And as long as
Yeah.
we think of it that way, then they always gonna outclass us and outvote us and outdo everything
Because
because
we not
we
sticking together. It
exactly
goes right back to what you're saying. It's us not sticking together as a community. Because another thing that keeps popping out is just like we expect somebody else to be the one to make the change. It's just like no, it's an individual type of change. Somebody else cannot make that change. You know what I'm saying? The same way how if you know what I'm saying, I'll say me like the same way. If it's just like, well, if I don't feel like it's no hope, then why am I gonna do it? How many other people do you think feel just like you that do the same thing? And
right.
this is why you feel like your vote doesn't matter because it's too many people with this one thought process. You know what I'm saying? So imagine if you picked up and you say, you know what, I feel like it don't matter, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway. And then not only am I gonna do it, it's just like I'm gonna talk to my friends about it. And it's just like, look, I know it don't matter, but let's give this shit a shot.
Yeah,
Let's give
but
it a shot.
right. But and then what kills me, even when people say they don't vote. And that's their right, man. I'm just saying what I'm saying.
Right.
When people say they don't vote, I wonder, do they recognize that they influencing somebody else not to vote?
Right.
You know, I mean, even if you felt that way, why even say something? You know what I'm saying? Why take that? Why put that on somebody else, man? And just like if you don't want to vote, just don't vote. Don't go. You know what I'm saying? Say you voted. But why would you put emphasis on saying I didn't vote?
But it's I mean, yeah, I absolutely. I don't you know what I'm saying? It's if that's what you don't do, cool. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If that's what you don't do, cool. But you know, just the way that I see it, it's just like
Why
we
you
got
messing up somebody else's blessing? That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Why you choose to you a bigger and because a person that might say that, like I done heard, oh, and they have valid points, right?
right.
But I got a valid point why I vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't try to tell the person that say don't vote not to vote. I tell people to to vote. I just think that's your God-given right. Right now they're allowing you to vote, and if they told you you couldn't vote, then you'll be trying to do everything to vote.
They trying to make it so you can't vote.
That's just like if
They're
they
literally
told
trying to make it so you cannot vote right
exactly.
now.
That's just like
But
if
you'd
they
have to
told
know what's going on to know that.
right.
Like not even trying to be funny, not even trying to be shady. It's so much going on, and it's just like we putting our heads down in defeat, and it's just like, oh, if you really knew what was going on, you know what I'm saying, then you might really feel defeat. You don't know the half of it of what's happening right now. But imagine like if you was to actually wake up and pay attention and like challenge that thought process a little bit, like actually we might be able to make some progress. You can actually feel like you can actually, you know what I'm saying, see some changes. But as long as we stay stuck in that, it's a mental trap. Like I keep saying it, it's just like where you think it's like it's nothing I can do. That's not true. That's not true. But the world doesn't change at somebody else. The world changes with you.
Right, right. But eventually we'll figure it out. It might not be in my lifetime, but eventually we'll figure it out. Cause black people, great people. Like I say, when people know what they doing to keep us to act like fools, to talk like fools, to walk like fools, and they good at it,
Yeah.
they good at they good at controlling the narrative of what we do, you
Mm,
know. And until we figure out that what's cool, we always gotta look at somebody and say, man, I want to dress like that. I want until we figure out who we want to be, you know. I don't want to be no version of nobody else. I want to be the best version of me. I want to make decisions that's good for my family. Good for
yeah.
my kids. And when we figure that out, because that's how simple it is. For real.
Yeah.
That's how simple it is. Everything we talking about, like voting and everything. But if people start talking about what's good for them and their family, you
Absolutely.
know, then everything gonna get better. You
Cause
gonna
you,
figure out your kids need education to make it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna figure out you need a better job. You gonna figure out everybody needs some type of discipline in their life. Man gonna figure out they need a good wife. Women gonna figure out they need a good husband. They can't do it on their own. You know, it just one day they'll figure it out. Because see these people, man, you look around the world, you see how Russia and Ukraine getting it on. You see how earthquakes happening and everything like that.
Mm,
Man, this world ain't playing with us.
it's
And
not.
we gotta figure some stuff out on the quick. You know, we got.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Richie, I got a lot off my chest. You want to add anything?
I mean, yeah, because I was kind of gonna piggyback off of what you were saying, because when you think about that too, like, you know what I'm saying, even when it comes back to vote, I don't want to emphasize too much on voting, but like, when I'm saying voting, I want to clarify, I'm not just talking about a president. It's the things that you are saying, you know what I'm saying, and I think they go hand in hand, because right, it in the episode, one of these episodes that's about to come out, I think it's the one that comes out tomorrow, but it's where I'm talking about, it's just like we as people are a little bit immature, like some of us, not everybody, but some people are just a little immature, you know what I'm saying, where it's just like it's not clicking that we have to take a certain responsibility for what it is that our lives are gonna look like. It's like a little kid, and like you take their toy, and it's just like, you took my toy, so I'ma just pout because I can't get my toy back because mom took it. But like, I'm mad because whatever. But you know what I'm saying? As you get older, it's just like, I'll live without that toy for 5 minutes. Like, it's fine. Let me move on. Let me stop doing the things that get my toys taken. Type of thing. You grow up, you mature, and you realize it's just like, oh, like, I want my relationships to look different. Oh, I want my job to look different. I need things to look different in my life. I care what kind of schools that my kids go to and those kind of things. Like, actually, I'm tired of apartment living. I want to live in a house. But then when I go into these housing markets, these are the problems that I'm running into. And see, all of those things tie into the government. They tie into voting. They tie into your community around you. And when you really start making yourself aware of certain things, it makes you want to get active, because it's just like, when you got in mind, like, oh, I got this family I'm trying to protect, I got this business that I'm trying to protect, I got something to live for. It's just like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Whether my vote votes or not, whether or not, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I still gotta do what I gotta do. It's like me in my apartment, right? It's just like, look, if somebody don't wash the dishes, they ain't getting done, because who gonna do them? Ruby?
You right there, sister.
And I'm gonna
Let
leave it there.
let Ruby do them sisters. No,
She
I
looking at
mean
me
you
like I
right
ain't
on
finna do
point.
no dishes.
You know, you right on point. But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, man. You know, we wake up in the morning, we think about certain things and stuff like that, and try to figure out. It's good to talk about it for real with you. That's why I like doing it, man. It's just like, all this is to me is like a phone conversation.
Yeah,
That's all this is like a phone conversation talking. I mean, we ain't gonna make no changes, but man, if one person hears something and they brighten up and they figure some stuff out, man, that's what it's all about.
yeah,
You know, that's what it's all about. When I listen to all them people you have on your podcast, young cat, I be encouraged.
yeah,
Because man, they doing stuff, man, and they be on point, and to hear young people talk like that, man, it's like great, instead of hearing young people talking about all this craziness and stuff
yeah,
like that, can't hold a conversation with you and stuff like that. It's just a good feeling to listen and hear people like that. So I mean, right on for what you're doing,
thank you.
because like I said, if it ain't helping nobody, it's entertaining somebody, and
Yeah,
then somebody getting some knowledge, you know, or somebody, can listen while they doing something in their car or something like that, and we entertainment, you
yep,
know.
yep, yep. And that's why I do it. And you know what I'm saying. And the part that I love about getting to do this is like I love that we get to see people doing different things. We seeing people that are doing things in a positive light, because we see so much of the negative. We can just look out and see the negative, right? But how many people are highlighting the people who are really out here just trying to do the best that they can with life? You know what I'm saying? The
Exactly.
people that's really working hard, that's really trying to figure it out, taking care of their families, doing stuff in their communities, like for real. Like shout out to Ashton, shout out to NT, shout out to Trey. You know what I'm saying? Like all of y'all, Dominic too, even though you ain't came on here yet. You know what I'm saying? Kay, like all of those people, it's just like they working in their communities, they helping people,
Right.
they building something. It's just like, you know, it's great to see just us and our community in a different light, and to be able to show people like, look, it's more out here than that. It's
Right.
more out there than that.
And people make it, despite some of the things we go through.
Absolutely.
So yeah, because all the people you just said, I'm sure, they made it through because they went through with something.
Right.
You hear so many people go through it. Life ain't that bad. We just talking about it being better.
Bruh.
You know.
And they coming from the same place we all came from. You know what I'm saying? It's just like when I think about, I met Strick in college. I met Tiffany in elementary school, Trey in middle school, Dominic in high school. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like we all coming from the same place. And it's all about what's between your two ears.
Right.
And how you use your brain and how you use your opportunities. Everybody got a different story. Everybody them went through certain different things and different circumstances. It's just like, you know, we all got stuff going on behind the scenes that people don't know about, things that we struggle with, obstacles that we had to overcome, hiccups, things like that. But it's all about whether or not you let it get you down.
I got you there. Well, all
And
right, Chief.
yep. All right. Thank y'all
So,
for tuning in to another episode. I appreciate y'all for coming through. If y'all like this, make sure y'all like, comment, share, put other people onto it so we can grow. If you want to come on the show, follow me on social media. You can find me at MarissaY17 on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter when I feel like it, but I never really feel like it. Marissa the Thinker on Facebook and YouTube. And then you can also find me no, that's it. And you can find Thinker versus Speaker at Thinker versus Speaker on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and then Thinker versus Speaker official on TikTok. Y'all, y'all, y'all. I've been having so much fun. Like for real. I hope y'all been liking what we've been doing. Dad, thank you for another great episode. I love this conversation. I love just being able to sit down and just talk to you about all different kind of stuff. I like doing it in real life, and like it just makes me even more excited that like we get to put these types of conversations out there, because the stuff that we get to talk about, like, you know what I'm saying, I just love that we get to do it. So thank you for asking me to come to do this. And I like anytime, like I love having these conversations. They give me energy, because I was tired before we started. Now I'm hype again. So I
Well,
appreciate
well, just put it in your archive. Bring
it.
it on anytime you want to. Ain't no biggie. My feelings won't be hurt. I
Oh, it's
just like
coming
to
out.
talk. I just like to talk, man, and talk about some things, and that's what you doing. It's right up my alley when I'm not tired.
Yeah.
So hey, right on. Everybody have a good. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a
Yeah.
nice time.
All right, lady
Have
up.
a good day. See you later.